Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm David Curtis from Big Sky Mind, a Tibetan Buddhist group based in Missoula, Montana. We have local teachings and meditation sessions, classes, and retreats, and we broadcast by Zoom to friends all over the world. What I'm doing here is a series of short videos on some remarkable books that I think you'd like to know about, some of my favorites. So I've been reading in Buddhism for over 40 years. And the book I'd like to talk about this evening, just now, is one of my favorites. It's by Tsangnyön Heruka, and it's called The Life of Milarepa. Almost everyone's heard of Milarepa that's going to find this video. But anyway, Tsangnyön Heruka actually lived some 400 years after Milarepa, and he's one of the greatest literary masters and I think tantric masters in Tibet. And he's created these wonderful books. The one here now is the biography of Milarepa, but he's also wrote a book that's been translated as The 100,000 Songs of Milarepa, and finally, The Life of Marpa, the translator, Milarepa's teacher. But for right now, I'll talk about this book, The Life of Milarepa. So there are many, many books and stories and legends about Milarepa, but this book has gone a long way to make Milarepa probably the most famous Tibetan Buddhist in the history of Tibet, the most famous person in the history of, the Dharma in Tibet, probably excluding the current 14th Dalai Lama. But it's the story of someone that made the whole journey from being in a very dark state, having actually murdered some people in his extended family, and made the journey all the way to becoming completely enlightened, the Buddha in one lifetime. Milarepa lived in the 11th century, and the translator of this edition, I'd actually never heard of him, and I came upon this book, bought the book, read it, and became an immediate fan of the translator, Andrew Quintman. Last I heard, he's teaching at Princeton. The translation is lucid and wonderful. It's just a fantastic job that he's done. I've read several translations, and this one now, it's just brilliant. It's wonderful. So it's an introduction to Tibetan Buddhism, to Tantric Buddhism, the Buddhism of Tibet, by way of telling this life story of Milarepa. So it reads like an exciting novel, but you just learn so much about the Tibetan view of life, the tantric view, you could say. In the meantime, it's a deeply inspirational book and quite fun to read. It's not a huge tome either. And then Donald Lopez, a great scholar himself, he's one of my favorite scholars of Buddhism. He has an excellent overview of the Buddhism of Tibet, what Tibetan Buddhism is, to start the book off. So The Life of Milarepa, translated by Andrew Quintman, and it's a Penguin classic in that series. So it's readily available, a brilliant book, highly recommended.